Jerkbeast. Jerkbeast is a personal favorite topic of mine, as it's a bizarre and edgy public access television show from the early 2000s. Created by Brady Hall, the show saw him and his friends hosting a call-in show on the Seattle Community Access Network. Calvin Lee Reeder, one of the cast members, would describe his time on the show as such. Where to begin with Jerkbeast? I used to go to Brady's house a lot. There was this particular pile of trash in the living room, and each time I went over there it seemed to grow in horrible new ways. One day it became the Jerkbeast. Brady had plans to host a public access show wearing it. Brain Wendorf and I hosted 2 seasons of it alongside him on Scan TV Channel 77. We had a pretty strong following, and it was all because of the Jerkbeast, the most creatively vile, rapid-fire insulter Seattle Public Access had ever known. All social boundaries were ignored, and we received death threats on a regular basis. It went so well, we decided to turn it into a movie. The movie features the 3 of us in a band called Steaming Wolf Penis. Jerkbeast played drums. That band was so bad it gained a separate cult following. We played live quite a bit, even toured England a couple times. I'd say most people who saw us play didn't even know we made a movie. Probably never will. The show's edgy content really stands out, and I have to admit that some of it is legitimately hilarious.
Hello?
Hey, dude.
Oh my God!
What the hell's wrong with you?
What?
Put the gun out of your mouth.
Will you do me a favor and lick my big, fat, hairy balls?
I think this is Louis Armstrong. I didn't know you're still alive.
He came back to laugh just to say, lick my big hairy balls.
That's the song he always wanted to record.
Enough.
Because that song would go so well with
My
the
name
trumpet.
is Dennis Christensen.
Now I haven't been able to find this moment, but apparently there's an episode where these guys call out a homophobic Christian show by calling them Gay for Jesus, and then the Jerkbeast crew refer to themselves as Fags for Jesus. Again, it's a very risque show, but that's what many liked about it. Since its end, many have made attempts to archive the show, with the majority of episodes being found by the mid-2010s. However, the show's creator, Brady Hall, decided to take actions into his own hands and purge all archive attempts. In 2021, he updated the Jerkbeast website to address this, stating, "One of the core reasons we have started enforcing our legal right to keep Jerkbeast material off the internet is because many fans fundamentally misunderstand the core ethos of what Jerkbeast was. If you made a Venn diagram of currently vocal fans, and people who espouse repugnant and hateful rhetoric online, there would be a disturbing overlap. Whether or not these people mean it, the words are being written and said. Jerkbeast was never about bigotry, racism, misogyny, or homophobia. While yes, the young adults who wrote, produced, and performed the material uttered some things in the show or movie that could be seen as evidence of the aforementioned ideologies, we can assure you that not only do we not have hate in our hearts, but more importantly, we have grown up and no longer endorse that kind of comedy. We were young, dumb, and full of ignorance, and make no excuses for the crappy jokes, mixed in with the irreverent absurdism and swearing. But we're past that now, and it's sad to see that the younger fans coming to the material have not only latched onto the parts of Jerkbeast that were wrong, but they're taking it to a whole new level, and we don't feel good contributing to that." It goes on, but essentially he feels as if allowing access to the show in any capacity will lead to fans using it as justification to say fucked up stuff. This is the classic story of troll's remorse, where an edgy content creator feels regret over their past actions, but decided to overcorrect things to an extreme level. Pretty much what happened to iDubbbz last year. Since then, it's become incredibly hard to find full episodes of the show online, as Brady would take down various re-uploads on YouTube, Vimeo, and the archive.org. This rightfully pissed a lot of people off, and attempts are made to preserve as much content from the show as possible. Some episodes are found, though some are in low quality or aren't complete.
Speak, you asshole!
Asshole, speak, you asshole.
Say something interesting before I come through this camera and rip you a new one.
Say something interesting. Why don't you go to the dentist, man?
Why don't you shut the fuck up?
Why don't you go to the dentist to
Why don't
get
you
this
shut the
damn
fuck up?
big need taken care of, man?
Hang up on this idiot!
I'm falling apart here.
God damn it, if there's one thing I hate, it's idiots like that calling my show!
Drake and Josh pilot. Switching gears a little bit, this pilot for the hit Nickelodeon sitcom Drake and Josh has gone fully unreleased since 2002. It wasn't talked about much online, though what was known is that the pilot has the same plot as the first episode of the official Drake and Josh series. The only difference, besides the sets, wardrobes, and props, was one of the actors. Josh's dad, Walter Nichols, was not played by Jonathan Goldstein, but instead a completely unknown actor. It was later found out that this was Stephen Furst, who most likely wasn't available to be cast in the full series. It wouldn't be until May 18, 2009, that footage would resurface online, from Mr. Feet Lover himself, Dan Schneider. Dan, the creator of Drake and Josh, was still working at Nickelodeon at the time. He uploaded a short minute and 40-second clip of the pilot onto YouTube, while also posting some screenshots from it on his Dan Warp Twitter account. Strangely though, the video was soon privated, most likely due to how strict Nickelodeon is when it comes to copyright. There was also a promo video uploaded that features brief clips from the pilot episode. Nobody at the time thought to archive that clip Dan posted, so it was lost once again. It wouldn't be until November 28, 2017, that Lost Media Wiki user AFX6010 would post it to Mega. This clip features the basketball scene, which fans would immediately compare and contrast to the official episode. What's strange is that 5 years later, on April 16, 2022, Dan would unprivatize the original clip on his YouTube channel, and then, guess what? He made it private again later that year. It really doesn't matter though, since we have that clip properly archived now.
Whoa, we're not breaking up.
We're never breaking up.
As a matter of fact, we're getting married.
Oh, man.
All Lights Fucked on the Harry Amp Drooling. This is an experimental album released by the Canadian music group Godspeed You, Black Emperor. And yes, that's the name of the album. It's honestly pretty badass. Its release was pretty limited, with only 33 copies being made and sold back in 1994. This is simply due to money issues, as stated by Ephraim Menuk in a February 2022 episode of the Creative Control podcast.
So it was like 33 copies of this cassette?
Because that's what I could afford,
right?
You know, like literally, I got my friend John to do like, you know, the insert in the cassette is, you know, like hand sewn and hand debossed and stuff like that. So that was like a little pricey. Mm-hmm. And then I had enough songs to fill this cassette, and you know, I got the sequence together, duped it, made the covers, gave it to friends, and you know, moved on with my life. Kept moving furniture, kept going to school as a mature student, kept wondering why.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's this thing. It's like it gets described as a demo tape. It was the opposite of a demo tape. It was, you know, it wasn't trying to elicit interest in a project. You know,
out of all 33 copies, only a few were known to have owned the tape, with one laying in the possessions of Constellation Records, the band's record company. Another owner of a copy went by the username Casket Jack. They began posting photos of their copy on Reddit, along with telling the story of how they got it. Casket Jack said they managed to get their hands on it back in 1994. They listened to it, and didn't really enjoy it all that much, soon stashing it with their other tapes they had. Flash forward 19 years, when this was posted. Casket Jack posts proof of the album's existence. They uploaded 2 full songs on the site bayfiles.net, along with uploading them to YouTube. The post ends with an update regarding future postings. I've also emailed Constellation Records and explained how I came into possession of the cassette. I also explained that there is a rabid fanbase that would like nothing more than for me to post my rip of the cassette. I asked them for permission to do so. I will not auction off the tape, or post a rip of it until I hear from them one way or another. Nothing else will be posted by Casket Jack, and the 2 songs I posted are now deleted. It wouldn't be for another 8.5 years that updates were made in the search. On February 4, 2022, an anonymous 4chan user posted their findings on the site's music board. They claim they got this from a friend who lives in Montreal, implying they know someone who owns one of the elusive 33 copies. Here they link to a mega file, which has all 27 songs featured on All Lights Fucked on the Harry Amp Drooling. It was confirmed to be legit, as it included the 2 songs posted by Casket Jack, Random Lovely Mockton Blues, and Dad Mom Daddy. Upon the news breaking, Constellation Records declined to comment. A YouTube user named Naskovic would post this to their channel. 10 days later on Valentine's Day 2022, Godspeed You, Black Emperor would release an official version on Bandcamp. This led to Ephraim Menuk conducting that interview with Creative Control, where he explains his mixed feelings on the album's discovery.
So like over the years, when people would ask me about the cassette, or moments where people would announce that it had leaked or whatever, it would come in my head as like, oh, I guess at some point I need to get ahead of this, because it's going to come out at some point, you know? As if you're dealing with the mob and like, you know, blackmail or something. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I need to take an action because it's going to come out anyways. And then I would always shut down. It's like, well, I'm not going to negotiate with that logic, you know? But that logic is still there. And it's it's kind of crazy.
The City Gone Wild. This is a 1927 silent film that, just like many films of the time, was not properly preserved. Though unlike most of the others, it was preserved and then lost again. The plot is described as follows. With the outbreak of city gang wars between Gunnar Gallagher and Lefty Schroeder, criminal lawyer John Phelan, feared in the underworld, brings temporary peace, while District Attorney Franklin Ames investigates. Nada Winthrop, daughter of a powerful capitalist, is sought by both men. Though Nada loves John, she disapproves of his criminal practice. and when he frees Gunnar Gallagher on bail, she announces her engagement to Ames. When Ames discovers that her father is the secret brain of the underworld activities, and Winthrop has him killed, John takes the district attorneyship to avenge his friend. Snuggles, Gunnar's girl, threatens to inform on Winthrop unless John releases Gunnar, and he concedes. John is about to resign when Snuggles, rejected by her man, confesses. The film would be shown as late as January 1930 in Fairbanks, Alaska. After that, it was never shown again. Though later down the line, it would be preserved by David Shepard, a famous film preservationist. This man has managed to save hundreds of old films, but sadly, The City Gone Wild was not so lucky due to factors outside his control. David had kept the film at one of Paramount's preservation vaults, since at the time he was working with the American Film Institute's archive program. Paramount had mostly forgotten about this particular vault, so they weren't checking in on it regularly. The 35mm print for The City Gone Wild had deteriorated, so it was unspooled in a tank of water to decompose the nitrate. This didn't seem to work, and it was thrown out. The print had already been carted off before he could even arrive to pick it up. This angered David, so he filed a complaint to Paramount, who vowed for something like this never happened again. The story was recounted twice, once in 1990 and a second time in 2016, just before David passed away. Spot the Diff. And finally, we end this video on one of the strangest cases of lost media I've covered in quite some time. And yes, it's about the show Phineas and Ferb. On August 8th, 2008, when the show was still pretty new, a special 2-hour-long marathon was done on the Disney Channel called Spot the Diff. Basically, 4 different episodes of Phineas and Ferb were played twice, being the episodes The Fast and the Phineas, Toy to the World, Lawn Gnome Beach Party of Terror, and It's a Mud World. During the second airing of a particular episode, certain changes would be made that viewers need to keep track of. These changes include characters having different colored hair or objects changing appearances. In universe, it's explained that these changes are due to Dr. Doofenshmirtz's new invention, the Change-A-Nator and Nator. Viewers were encouraged to go to DisneyChannel.com to access a score sheet, allowing them to keep track of all these differences. Viewers were then encouraged to take 4 different quizzes. Getting every question correct will allow them to view then unreleased Phineas and Ferb episodes. These 4 altered episodes were lost for almost a decade, but were archived on June 16, 2017, by a VidMe user named The Zapster. However, the site was taken down in December 2017, meaning these episodes were lost once again. Though the Lost Media Wiki page claims that the Zapster's account was terminated, I believe the former. One user did manage to archive the episodes, though their upload to the Internet Archive has since been taken down. Ever since, these episodes are hard to come by. Users on the Lost Media Wiki have posted their own links, but they don't seem to work, at least for me. Honestly though, someone really needs to update this page ASAP. I'm sure the reason why Spot the Diff is so hard to find is because of Disney themselves. Just like Nickelodeon, they can be strict on copyright.